Well, NJ, it's time for us to do another batch of free Q&As that we do every 3 weeks. Q&A is the videos I generally look the most forward to doing.
Because when it comes to Q&A, it's more interactive because in our reviews, we just talk about the show. We talk about you guys and your questions. So please, please, please keep them coming so we can make it to the 100 mark.
Indeed, and no doubt we'll go up past 100 as well. Next week, we're going to be doing an hour-long Q&A as we have 14 pages worth of questions to get through, and we want to desperately get your questions answered as soon as we can, so we do abide your patience. And next week's review is going to be sponsored by a certain former American football tag team. More on that next week. But anyway, next week's going to be an hour-long Q&A. I'm looking forward to it. You can give us your questions down in the comment section below through YouTube inbox, facebook.com/BritishFist, or on Twitter, much like the OTRS crew do, with the hashtag BritishFistQ&A. They don't have their own hashtag, though.
Not really.
No.
Because when we do our Q&As, we get very much good compliments, so hopefully you'll enjoy next week as much as we will.
Indeed, so let's get straight onto this Q&A. Before I forget, with the British Fist.
Catching!
I'm Mr. Parkin wearing my Austinari's Greatest Man That Ever Lived shirt, and this guy sitting next to me, because I know you want to see this, it's none other than NJ. I think we did a whole intro and outro developed to that, just that one second thing you do, NJ. It's amazing, isn't it? Let's get on to this Q&A number 92. The first question is from Crew 5150 Chema. I don't know why I said it like that. I'll let South Park. Number 1. If Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy returned, who would you feud them with? Interesting. If Jeff Hardy returned, I'd love to see him feud with CM Punk again. I think that would be amazing.
I think with Jeff Hardy, I think with him trying to be one of the saviors and that, I would like to see him against one of the members of the Shield.
Kurt Angle is an interesting one.
Daniel Bryan.
Again, you pretty much took the words out of my mouth there. I think a match between Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan would make a lot of sense. Both technical wrestlers. There are other people I'd like to see him go up against, like CM Punk once again. But a match between Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan could be a pretty entertaining one at that. And, you know, that's two good matches I think you could think about Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy.
And the other one, for either one of these two, if he was in a better place, Wade Barrett.
Yes. Any idea what Kane's last match will be? Probably, I don't know, maybe. Who really knows what is? He's got the world record for the amount of matches on Raw. Well, not the world record, but he has the most matches on Raw. So who knows what they're going to do for his last match?
I personally, he came in, went straight to Taker. I think, again, this is why I was disappointed that Triple H got the third WrestleMania slot, not Kane, because then he went into WrestleMania and left with WrestleMania with Taker as his opponent. What
moveset in WWE would you have in your finish? I'm guessing yours would be the pedigree. Yeah?
I'd say probably something. I make my own move. It's hard to. So obviously, the thing is, some of the moves are pretty close. I like to get the new moves like the Cesaro, the fancy uppercutty thing. I'd probably want to come up with my own twist of move to actually knock someone out and hurt someone.
If I was going to want someone's finisher, I'd want Adrian Neville's backflip twisty move that he does. That's amazing. That's such a great finisher. Concerning the streak, could this match happen? WrestleMania 30. Think of this. Wade Barrett, The Undertaker, versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. No. Lastly, what 10 wrestlers are you hoping will reach the main event, and what 10 would you get released? Okay, 10 wrestlers who we're hoping will reach the main event. Let's go WWE first. Wade Barrett, Cody Rhodes. I'd say Damien Sandow. I'd love to see him in the main event. Any other people from WWE you'd want to see in the main event scene?
Main event scene, that's not quite there yet. Again, there are people that are there, but not just in the best place. I'd say...
Can't think of anyone. Let's move on to TNA then.
I'd just say Santino.
Santino Marella. What about TNA? I think there are a lot of people in TNA, like Magnus, I think, is one that I really think is due a main event push. I mean, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian have done some very good work and could deserve a main event push, in my opinion.
Christopher Daniels is the long-term waiting one, so I'm going to probably put a lot of money on him to go there, because I think he just deserves it right now.
Joseph Park, there we go. And which 10 would you get released? Oh, God. May as well release the primetime players at this point. Yes. 3MB, Robbie E, Garrett Bischoff, the whole of the Aces and Eights.
I'd say
TNA officially.
Robbie T, because again, even though he's better than Robbie E, I still don't think he's working right now. I'd say get rid of Tensai, get rid of Bruce Clay now. I'd say sadly, even though we do need jobbers, I'll say 3MB because they've gone from here.
They suck. They're pretty much down spiral, better, worse than Britpop did after Oasis put out their third album, pretty much.
They're the main ones.
Howard the Man. Who has been getting the loudest pops over the years? Sheamus, John Cena, Hulk Hogan, or The Undertaker? Undertaker always gets a loud pop. Once a year. That's probably why he gets a loud pop. Hulk Hogan generally gets a loud pop when he comes out because everyone knows who he is. John Cena gets a reaction. It's just not always a positive reaction.
Pretty much.
Pretty much there, yeah. I mean, if Vince, for some strange reason, had to stop at a WrestleMania number, when would he stop creating WrestleManias? As long as WrestleMania is going to create him a lot of money, he will not stop.
I think it'd be really, really stupid. Of all the pay-per-views in the year, he did anything to WrestleMania. Anything.
Flegger 91. Jeff Hardy isn't allowed to enter the UK because of his felonies. With 4 Impact tapings taking place in Manchester and at Wembley, probably airing in the weeks leading to lockdown, how do you think TNA will book and promote the title match at lockdown? This was obviously sent in a while back. I think we thought that it was going to be Jeff Hardy and Austin Aries, didn't we? Because of the way they had it on the poster. Turned out they did Jeff Hardy versus Bully Ray. It's a shame that he wasn't there because, to be honest, he's in the main event at lockdown and it makes that pay-per-view feel like an afterthought.
There was this thing on the report, I think Hogan had an interview and he was saying that, yes, he would have probably liked Jeff Hardy to be there to do his thing, but he would have preferred Bobby Roode just because Bobby Roode's more of the guy to look out for, the champion that did great stuff when he was there.
And he was in the UK as well. He was allowed. He didn't have a felony against his name. Yeah, Jeff Hardy. Wrestling Divination. I believe I pronounced that correctly. Dave Meltzer says these matches are rumored for Mania. Do you like this card? Cena versus Rock, Caitlyn versus AJ, Taker versus Punk, Lesnar versus Triple H, Barrett versus Miz, Ziggler versus Del Rio versus Sheamus versus Big Show, Mysterio Sin Cara, and Kane Daniel Bryan. Right, from a storyline standpoint, Kane and Daniel Bryan makes sense. Mysterio and Sin Cara did make sense until Mysterio had his injury. We're gonna get Del Rio versus Swagger now, which I feel is better than that 4-way. Barrett and Miz, for the IC belt. Lesnar, Triple H, Cena, and Rock and Taker Punk are 3 matches which you knew were going to be coming for a while.
Let me just tweak one of those matches. I know WWE already tweaked a lot of those, but it's Caitlyn AJ. I think for one match, one WrestleMania match, just because it's possibly going to be her last match, it's going to be Trish Stratus before she goes in the Hall of Fame.
And also, let's not forget as well, Team Road Scholars versus the New Age Outlaws. I'm still pushing for that match, just like OTRS are pushing for Honey Frickin' Boo Boo Beef Mode bullshit.
Yes.
Anyway, let's move on from that now that we've gone into that kind of shit. Jamal Payne. What WWE title match would you rather see at Mania? Rock versus Cena versus Punk, or Rock versus Punk with Austin as the referee?
No, not the referee. No, I think that referee stuff, if Austin comes back, yes, you could use that to probably tease the Austin and Punk stuff, but I'd say the triple threat.
Yeah, I mean, out of those two triple threat, I don't want to. I know Rock. People say that people are saying that Cena versus Rock 2 is bad, but if you're saying that's bad, then what does that say about Rock and Punk 3? I mean, how hypocritical can you be? I'm just saying. But I mean, Rock versus Punk with Austin as ref, yeah, it'd be interesting if they'd never faced off at Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. I would, out of those two, prefer to see Rock, Cena, Punk personally. The first ever unknown question giver, some sort of secret person. If you could create your own Elimination Chamber match with 6 wrestlers of any promotion and time period, who would be in it and who would you say deserves to face Taker at Mania? Let's go with the Elimination Chamber from any era. I'll tell you what, do you want to pick 3? I'll pick 3.
Yes.
Go that way?
I'll probably do the now score.
Go on.
It'll make it easy for me. I would like to see any promotion. That's good.
Yes.
Bully Ray, Bobby Roode, 2 from TNA and 1 from WWE. I would like to probably see. I'm trying to think. Wade Barrett.
I'll tell you what, I'll do this. I'll take one from ECW, I'll take one from WCW, and I'll take one from WWF. In WWF, Macho Man Randy Savage. WCW, Sting, or Ric Flair. And from ECW, I guess it would either have to be Taz or RVD. From those promotions. I'm just doing a bit of a mix of the promotions there, so that would be an interesting match. And who would you say deserves to face Taker at WrestleMania? It's hard to really say. Who would you think deserves to face Taker at Mania? CM Punk.
I wish I could say Barrett, but if he did have that big slippery slope that he's still trying to climb up from, I've somehow swerved in a Barrett match against Taker, but Punk now.
I think out of everyone on the roster, CM Punk is the second biggest star on the roster, and with Cena facing The Rock, I think that's the best match for CM Punk right now. But to be honest, the streak is such a big deal right now. He's beaten Triple H twice in big matches. He's beaten Shawn Michaels twice in big matches. You can't really think of a current roster guy that would actually deserve to go after the streak, but I think Punk is definitely up there after his massively long title reign. My opinion. Asia Extreme Infinity. Interesting name. How would you feel if we had a big five in this day and age? WWE, WCW, ECW, TNA, and ROH. Imagine how much havoc that would play on our video schedule, and we wouldn't be able to do a Q&A.
5 days a week, 5 shows. They wouldn't be 2 on the same show because that'd be bad for business. So 1 on each day. It'd be a bit too heavy, and plus, I think it's just I can't really see it working up full.
I'll just say this: if you had 5 in there, you'd probably have TNA and ROH maybe being like small indie federations with WWE and WCW and ECW around that were much bigger than TNA and ROH. They would just probably end up going out of business anyway. So you'd still have a big 3. But if we had the big 5 in this age, God, 5 days of wrestling, probably some of them would have 2 shows. God, it would be awful. Sometimes I'm glad that there's not really that much wrestling on TV. You kind of get fed up with it after, especially when you have to review it every week. Do you think deep down inside it drives Cena crazy that he can't get 100% of the fan support and approval? Oh yeah, because he does a lot for WWE. He is well respected amongst the dressing room as far as we know. It must really kill John Cena inside that the fans just don't. It's not really John Cena's fault, is it? It's more WWE's booking and Vince McMahon's ideology for John Cena. It's not Cena's fault, and yet he's getting the blunt for the character.
Vince McMahon, I'm sure, said to Cena many times, every time you smile, I'll give you $100,000. So every show you go on, smile, and I give you $100,000. And he just smiles, even when he's getting dissed the hell out of.
You mean like on Old School Raw when Rock dissed him and he just went... Anyway, we'll move on.
Yes.
Mark Slams 621, who provided us a very interesting what's up for the compilation. 2 tag team contracts come through in the mail on the same day. 1 from WWE, 1 from TNA. Who do you bump for? First thing we want to say is we would get it at the same time because we live on the same street, pretty much the same postcode. But
I do.
Yeah.
The one I want to say is you'll find out the answer next week.
Oh, right.
Next week.
Find out the answer next week. Got it. Okay, then. Blandy Snorton. What a great YouTube name that is. Do you think that there should be more wrestlers who are not outright face or heel? It would make it a lot less predictable and give WWE and TNA more options, as all good guys versus bad guys storylines have been done to death, and I'm bored with all the heel-face turns. Yeah, I mean, there isn't really a character in wrestling right now. You could say maybe CM Punk 2011, maybe Austin Aries 2012, that never really borders that so-called shade of grey between babyface and heel, which people I think find a lot more interesting, like the anti-hero type, rather than the typical hero and villain storyline.
Austin Aries and Bully Ray, they're trying to make him like that, but we all know it's going to swerve. But yes, I do think we need someone that fans can boo, like Triple H and D Generation X in a way. So I say they do need a now time character that still has that.
I think CM Punk could definitely, and so could Austin Aries in my opinion, provide that, and Bully Ray to a lesser degree. But I do think that just because we need some more variety of characters, that kind of character is very rare in wrestling. I mean, the reason why Austin Aries and The Rock were so popular in the Attitude Era is because they were badasses and they were essentially doing heel shit that people loved. People love an ass kicker.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, characters like Austin, Rock, and CM Punk of 2011 show that it can be done, but then again, it would require talented writers to pull it off, so maybe not a good idea to complicate things. A very nice way to finish off that question there. Ali Good. All good, Ali Good? Vince McMahon has granted you a meeting with him. Oh, here we go. And the creative department and you are allowed to change 3 things in WWE. What are they? I think yours is going to be Cena related, right?
Close, but no. I think the first thing I would change is when you knew that things worked in the past, like the rights you had in the past, and all of a sudden you want to save money or do something that's more genuine to your new idea of what should be happening now, I'd go back to the old kind of rights you had. Number 1.
I think one small one would be the gimmick pay-per-views. You know, you've got the rights to all the ECW pay-per-views, WCW pay-per-views. Why not try and bring in some old school fans and maybe make a Clash of the Champions or a Starrcade or, you know, Bash at the Beach or something like that. I don't know, just a small thing there. And I think for me also, I'm not a massive fan of massive writing teams. Like Vince Russo, I remember him saying that, you know, you have massive writing teams and you just get complicated in the shuffle. So I really wish the WWE would minimize their writing team a little bit just so their ideas can come out on TV a lot better and a lot less last minute and a lot less filtered.
The thing I would do is, again, give importance to not just the same wrestlers each week. I know it goes in with writing.
Build new stars.
But I do think they need to concentrate on what's important. Like, you got Raw, SmackDown, treat them both the same.
Yeah.
You got stars who have been there a while, not quite where they should be. Treat them. So I think it's all about treating your wrestlers and your ideas fairly.
Yeah, and make some new stars as well. Treat your mid-carders fairly, that kind of thing. How tired are we of seeing lately Wade Barrett and Antonio Cesaro getting jobbed out to main event talent? It's an interesting question. Austin MP47, which feud would be better? Daniel Bryan versus Dean Ambrose or CM Punk versus Seth Rollins?
I think I'm more leaning towards the first one. Just because, again, Ambrose is seen as the guy that is probably going to be going somewhere, the guy that's got the it factor. Daniel Bryan, the way he performs, could level up with Dean Ambrose. Taking nothing away from CM Punk and Seth, I just feel, because we've seen CM Punk and Jeff Hardy, that kind of style, but I think Daniel Bryan, Dean Ambrose may just click it up.
It's a tough one, really, because you have Dean Ambrose there, who I feel is a character that could really add a lot and carry a storyline. And you have CM Punk there, who adds a lot to storylines and is a great character. It's a difficult one for me to choose, but I'd say, yeah, Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose. I'm trying to think how they would do some of these feuds. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, maybe something to do with the Shield. I don't really know, but they both sound interesting. I'd go with the first one. Do you think Team Hell No Road Scholars will break up soon and when? You can tell these questions were asked a long time ago, because Team Road Scholars broke up, and then they got back together again. I mean, now I don't know what the fuck's going on. They're just enhancement talent.
If any tag team was to break up, yes, we've still got Team Hell No with the tag titles, so they've got to lose that before they truly split. I think Team Road Scholars, they can go and do bigger, better things. So I think if you reunite them, keep them together, so Team Hell No.
29 Muskie, do you think one of the big four pay-per-views will ever come to England again? Probably not, but if there is the occasion that WWE do it, then we'll definitely be there.
We won't have SummerSlam because we get shit weather here.
And also, it's always in freaking Los Angeles.
Survivor Series, I think it could be really good here. I especially think the stadiums here could do great for Survivor Series.
Especially now Survivor Series isn't really that big of a pay-per-view anymore. I mean, it's comparable in its buy rates to Extreme Rules and Hell in a Cell, so Survivor Series really isn't that much of a big four pay-per-view anymore, so why not do it in England? Just an idea. It would be a great treat to the British fans. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all you're going to be getting from us this week. Next week, we're going to be going 60 minutes plus, probably, answering all your questions. So once again, thank you very much for sending in these questions. If you have any thoughts or opinions on the questions you've answered, let us know, and keep asking those questions also.
And all I can say, people, is in the next few Q&As, you've sent us multiple questions. If you want to continue doing that, please do. Because the more questions we get, the more we keep on going, the more we'll keep these Q&As coming. So please, please, please keep the questions coming. We'll keep enjoying them. Live Q&As, they come in the future. But for now, hope you've enjoyed these.
Indeed. So watch out for the 60-minute Q&A next week. Please be patient. Hopefully your question will be answered then. It's one of the reasons we do these hour Q&As, is we catch up on the variety of questions we've been given. Thank you very much for watching this Q&A if you have got to this point, and goodbye.